island when it's 72 degrees at all times and sunny. Some days it's overcast. Plentiful shade, no poisonous snakes. You're still going to feel down, right? Oh, the hermit hasn't brought me my coffee, so I had to go walk and get it myself, right?
Yeah.
So I'm depressed. So I would put this song to give me a pick-me-up.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like you said, a song like Overture, that's the wake-up song.
Oh.
That's the sun is coming up, and here comes this, and it starts off nice and slow, but then that orchestra kicks in, and you're like, I'm ready to take on the day. There's, like you said, it's not an angry, it's not an aggressive, it's just like a, I'm ready. It's that self-affirming, like, yeah, this is happening.
And just Dazed, I love. I just love that soundtrack, and I just love blasting it. So yeah, I'm taking that Tron Legacy soundtrack.
That's a great pick.
What's your last one?
My last one is Purple Rain.
Yes, one of us had to do it.
I love this album, man. I can't remember the last time I didn't listen to it at least twice a month. I'm borderline obsessed with this album. I find something new about it that I love every time I go to listen to it. Like it is absolutely phenomenal. To me, there's no other album like it out there when it comes to like a concept album or like a movie soundtrack based album. It's just, it tells the story without even needing to be told the story. And a lot of albums, I think, have a hard time doing that. A lot of albums can tell a story, but it just conveys the emotions. Whereas this one really breaks down like what that story is and how it's affecting everybody around it. And they're just really good jams. Like Let's Go Crazy, way to kick off that album. And then that just insane rock and roll freak out breakdown. The guitar solo and When Doves Cry, first 15, 20 seconds. Are you kidding me? Like, wonderful. And then, you know what I mean? You got something on a little darker side with Darling Nikki. If you're, cause you need to have a release, you know, and sometimes you need a little extra help to get you there. Darling Nikki could be that song. Even Computer Blue to a certain extent, like in that beginning, it's a little like, oh, what's going on here? But there's just, and like Baby I'm a Star, that's another one of those pick-me-up ones. Maybe not to the same level as Dazed, but it's definitely like, yeah, I'm ready to take on this day. This is what's going to happen. And then off you go.
And I'm pretty sure you said it, but I would die for you. Come on.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And there's just a little something for everybody in there. And then again, when you want to feel a little melancholy, Take Me With You, you know, you can kind of sing along to it. And you're like, yeah, one of these days. But let's go crazy. Let's get nuts. Slip on a purple banana till they throw us in the truck. I'm for it.
Okay. I have a question for you. Cause I was I have 4 options that were going to be on my last pick, and this was one of them. But it's, if you went to an island and you saw someone's 5 albums, and I guarantee, like, people are going to look at like Pitch Perfect and be like, what? Ghost Dog? What? But everyone who sees Purple Rain is going to go, nice. Like, that's like, there's, you know what I mean? Like, the Coast Guard is going to be looking at you going, cool. Around the world, doesn't matter where our island is. People see that album, are like, yeah, Purple Rain. Like, it's you can't deny the excellence of that album.
No, and even the album artwork. You know what I mean? Just the front of it, all the flowers littered about, and then just him on a motorcycle, just letting you know what's going on, letting you know who he is, what he's about, and you can't go wrong with it. You really can't. Like, and then Purple Rain for those nights where you've had one too many, you know, coconut rums. And you're just screaming into the night because you miss everybody, but you're going to get through it and you're going to be okay.
I'm going to let's do it right now. When you look at this album cover, what is this guy getting into? He's leaving this place. Is he leaving or is he going? Where is this smoke coming from? Mm-hmm. Like it's, what a good one.
Who's the woman in the background? What's her story? Is she bidding goodbye or is she like, hey, what's up? Welcome.
I mean, this is
hey, are we going to twist or what?
Do you want to dance? Oh, yeah. No, like, literally, yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude, you know.
Stop. I love it. Perfect pick. And, you know, listen, it's like, what? Like, I was researching it. Like, Rolling Stone said it's the 8th best album on its 500 greatest albums of all time. It's in the Grammy Hall of Fame. It's in Library of Congress's National Recording Registry. Like, it's...
As it should.
Sold over 25 million copies. It's like one of the best-selling... Like, this album is so great, it's not a fluke. If someone goes, the Purple Rain album's overrated, like, they're, wolf. Like, that's,
You're wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I know there's a lot of, what's the word? I know it's subjective.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if someone's trying to say that the Purple Rain soundtrack isn't good, they're just being provocative.
Yeah, they're looking to spar with you, and they're probably going to come out and say something, like, I don't know, Under the Cherry Moon is superior. And it's like, well, it's not.
Yeah.
Because here we are with this. Well, what about Rainbow Bridge? Again, it's not. It's Purple Rain is what it's about. Is it his best album? Yeah, probably. But, I mean, you can't go wrong with something that's certified 13 times platinum.
Exactly.
Certified.
Listen, it's good, but it probably should have sold like 17 million, not 25 million.
Yeah. Like, get out of here. You're going to spend 24 consecutive weeks atop the Billboard 200. Okay. Yeah, that's terrible.
What a great album. And it's short, too. But all the songs are so listenable. Like, sometimes if you take what's good about this one is, like, Shea Serrano has a podcast where he's like the No Skip podcast, where you listen to albums and don't skip anything. Ooh. I might skip a couple Daft Punk Tron songs, right? I might skip a couple things here and there. This is a no skip album for me.
Oh, absolutely. What's that podcast called again? I'm going to legit.
I think it's called No Skip.
No Skip. I am a very big. You listen to the whole album. I'm not a singles guy. We are in this album, and we're going to do it from start to finish. Like, don't jump around. We're not just going to peek in and peek back out. Like, no, we're going to do this. And this is how it's going to be. Like, a lot of my friends hate it because they'll be like, oh, let's put this on. Well, you better get ready to listen to the whole album because that's what we're doing. You know,
in Point Break, when Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze high five in the air, like, that's you in the album.
Pretty much.
I love it.
Pretty much.
All right. So, okay. Take out Purple Rain. I was going to do the Drive soundtrack, but that's too melancholy. Again, it would just make me want to hit people with hammers. I don't want to do that. Deep Blue Sea I love, but I'm not taking that album. But that would be, like, if I took Deep Blue Sea, the album, I would immediately regret it. But I think that would keep me hungry. Like, every time you look at it, you just get a rise. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh. I was like, I took this too far. But I do love the Deep Blue Sea album. And the Lost in Translation album. I love Too Young by Phoenix. I think it's just an excellent album. But it also... I don't know. When I watched Lost in Translation, I immediately went bought the soundtrack and bought the poster. Like, I fell in love with that movie, and it just sort of elicits a lot of emotion. So I don't want to bring that either. So my last one, and also Varsity Blues has a really good soundtrack. Like, they have Van Halen, Hot for Teacher. They have Thunderstruck. They have My Hero by Foo Fighters. They have some pretty good. They have Aaliyah on there, Collective Soul. I'm not taking that, but they also have Green Day. Not taking Varsity Blues soundtrack. I'm going to take the Dazed and Confused soundtrack.
Ooh.
Like, and I was thinking about this. I was like, this is a very pretentious story, but one of the happiest moments of my professional life, I was working on a sequel to a very big movie that had an awesome mix. And I was listening to the awesome mix from the first movie, driving to the second movie to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just one of the all-time, like, this is pretty cool. Like, this is neat. Like, this is a good spot to be in. And I was thinking about maybe the awesome mixes, but then I just thought, I'm like big into Foghat since Jim Carrey at the MTV Movie Awards, and then they couldn't afford Led Zeppelin, so they used a lot of Foghat in this movie. And so I just thought to myself, I'm bringing Dazed and Confused. And there is an even more Dazed and Confused album, but I guess I'll just stick with the first one, because it has this single version of Slow Ride, not the 48-minute guitar solo one that makes you exhausted and hating life that I had on the Foghat Live album that was stuck in my 6 cassette player for years that I bought at a gas station. So you have Slow Ride, you have School's Out, you have Stranglehold. Come on now, walk into a pool hall. Like, I would make a pool hall on the island to walk into it playing Stranglehold.
And the seagulls are like, oh no.
A bamboo pool hall, and just the local turtles sunning themselves like, oh, not again.
Sunning themselves.
Stranglehold's on. Hoffmeyer's walking into the bamboo pool hall. And you got Cherry Bomb, Fox on the Run. Another perfect song right here is Lowrider. Come on. When you're, like, there's no better chill song than that. Like, when you're cruising around on your bike that you've somehow made an engine on and fueled by by coconut water blending with oil that has been coming to your island because of an oil tanker leak that you're blending together. Horrible. And you're cleaning off cute animals on your island, and you have like a whole Ace Ventura thing going on. And then you also have Tuesday's Gone. I mean, come on now. Tuesday's Gone? Come on. I know it gets a little tough, but whatever. And then you have Rock and Roll All Night. You have Paranoid. I mean, it's just a banger album. It's banger. You know what's interesting, though? They don't have Sweet Emotion on this. And that was played in the movie, which is kind of interesting. But, yeah, Sweet Emotion, Aerosmith. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, just these songs in themselves, the 56-minute album, perfection. Like, the single version of Slow Ride, the 3-minute and 58 version, it's perfect. But I mean, listen, Fox on the Run, just jamming out to that. Stranglehold, come on now. Love Hurts, I might skip that. But I mean, it's just some good jams in here. And you got, like, Tuesday's Gone is good for feeling kind of melancholy.
Yeah.
Just walking on the beach, you're wearing a great V-neck, and you're just looking depressed on the beach, looking into it's magic hour on the island. You're just listening to Tuesday's Gone. And your amazing speaker system has like all over 8 miles. Occasionally your hermit's like, hey man, can I like unplug the speakers when I'm in the area? Cause like you're listening to D-Rez 70 times in a row.
Hey, are you okay, man?
Yeah. You've listened to D-Rez 4,000 times in a row. Like, what's going on? Hey, what's the song?
Spotify.
What's the song you've listened? Did you say that to the hermit?
Yeah.
Okay, Spotify, mind your own business. Well, it's hard to mind my own business. I'm trying to make coffee and sleep make coffee for you and sleep, and you're just playing D-Rez. I was like, no more jock jams for you. Oh.
I don't like it anyway.
Yeah. Dun, 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 psych.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I would just play Slow Ride a lot. It's a banger album, and you gotta have it. So.
It's absolutely phenomenal. I can't pick a weak track. I think you would have a very, very hard time trying to pick. I mean, outside for you, obviously it's Slow Ride, but picking a number one track, like there's so much good. Like you said, Stranglehold, like that. It's a little long at 8:24, but it's the right amount of long. You know what I mean? Like, say what you will about Ted Nugent as a person, like he rips on this song.
Rips.
He knows what to do. And then you got Highway Star. Like, that's another one where this is such a good pick, Mark. Like, this is a really, really good pick to the point where I'm like, now I have to go pick up this vinyl and ask myself for weeks on end why I haven't picked it up sooner.
I bought
this is just so good.
Dazed and Confused book. Someone wrote about the making of Dazed and Confused, so I'm going to read that on my next trip. I'm very excited.
Nice.
So I can't wait to read that. But it's just, I immediately went to this album because when did this movie come out? 94, 93 it came out.
I think,
and so at the time I was 11 and I was watching whenever I wanted at 11. And so I remember getting this maybe from a Blockbuster, maybe 94 when I was 12. Mm-hmm. And so you're 12 years old. You're not quite worldly yet. But then you hear this soundtrack and you hear just Foghat. You hear like Aerosmith, and you're just listening to this music. School's Out, they play that perfectly, and they're just at 12 years old. I was like, man, this album's legit. Like, it made me so happy. So yeah, those are my 5 albums that I would bring, and I think I'd have a good time on this island.
You're gonna have a phenomenal time on the island. I will say this about Dazed and Confused. I remember the first time I watched it, and I'm like, man, Ben Affleck must be really old because this film is in the 70s. And then it dawned on me, no dummy, this is a film from the 90s that takes place in the 70s. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, that's how believable it was. Like, it put me right there. I mean, not like I was in the 70s, but you know what I mean? Like, it puts me to where I'm like, oh, this is really what happened. And, it's so good. I'm going to watch this tonight. I got the Criterion Blu-ray on the shelf.
Oh, I love Criterion Blu-rays. I got to get Election, too. And I have to get Fast Times coming out. I already own them on Blu-ray, but like, hey, I'll buy the I'll buy the Criterion. That's what I do anyway. I had all the Wes Anderson movies on Blu-ray, then I bought the Criterion Bluerays.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing.
Support movies.
Absolutely, and their quality too. Like when the Pan's Labyrinth Blu-ray came out, The transfer and remaster they did is much